What if the world's only factory producing a unique metallocene catalyst for creating an elastic layer of bubble wrap is destroyed in an industrial accident? A world obsessed with the safety of fragile goods is suddenly deprived of its main airbag. The global collapse does not begin with a pandemic or a war, but with the quiet crunch of shattered hopes and shattered smartphone screens.
Do you know what's funny? No one heard the shot. There was no flash on the horizon, no sirens that would make everyone cling to the windows. The end of the world, our private, quiet Armageddon, began with disappointment. From the very feeling when you're looking forward to something but you get nothing. In my case, it's crackling. I remember that day down to the smallest detail. I was waiting for the package. Not just a package, but the holy grail for someone like me is a new graphics card. The top-of-the-line one, which is announced every 2 years and for which a virtual queue is being built for 6 months in advance. I ran a tech blog. It was my bread and my passion. And so the courier hands me the box, I sign it, I bring it into the apartment as something precious. Inside, under a layer of cardboard, it is wrapped in bubble wrap. I was looking forward to this moment, this ritual. First, a series of juicy, elastic chpaks. This is the sound of safety, the sound of untouched technology. But instead of that, I heard a crunch. Dry, brittle, as if I stepped on an autumn leaf or crushed a pack of old chips in my hand. I unwrapped the film, and the bubbles did not burst. They cracked, showering with small, sharp plastic crumbs. And the map itself? There was a crack in the corner of the textilite. My heart sank into my stomach. My first thought was ridiculously mundane. Damn the delivery service. They throw parcels around like sacks of potatoes. I wrote an angry letter to the store, filled out a refund form, and went online to vent my indignation. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. Social media was buzzing. It was even funny at first. People posted videos with the hashtag #unboxing. Someone opens a box with a collectible porcelain set, and inside there is a mountain of fragments in the same crisp, ridiculous film. Here's a girl with tears in her eyes showing the broken screen of a new monitor. All this was interspersed with memes, Schrödinger and his package, which is both intact and broken until you open the package. News sites wrote about the collapse in logistics and massive complaints about courier services. The experts talked intelligently about staff shortages, problems with trade unions and metal fatigue and truck suspensions. No one at all looked at the film itself. It was too insignificant, too stupid a cause for concern. They're just air bubbles. I was calming myself down too. I ordered a new card from another supplier. I had decided that it was just some kind of defective batch of packaging. Things happen. But I couldn't let go of this feeling of sensory dissonance. That sound. The wrong sound.
The point of no return for me was not the news report. This is not the speech of some official with shifty eyes. It was a phone call from my sister. Anya is a nurse in intensive care. I remember that evening, I was flipping through the news feed, where they were still making fun of the couriers and complaining about the broken vases. And then her call came. She never calls from work. I knew immediately that something was wrong. Her voice was, I'd never heard it before. Quiet, crushed. Lesh, he's here, she said. I didn't understand. Who's here? The module for the CT scanner. We've been waiting for him for 3 months. From Germany. Without it, the device is just a pile of metal. There's a 6-month waiting list for diagnosis. People... She stopped talking. I could hear someone crying in the background. "Anne, what happened?" And she answered, and her words still ring in my ears. We opened the box, and he's like a rattle inside. Everything is in pieces. He was wrapped in this stuff. He just crashed on the way. At that moment, the world outside the window stopped being the background. I got up and went to the window. An ambulance was coming down the street. But for the first time in my life, her howl seemed to me not a sound of hope, but a death rattle. This car was taking someone to the hospital where there was a broken CT scanner that could not be repaired. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe never, because the new module, if ordered, will arrive in the same box wrapped in the same crisp paper. And my broken GPU, my ruined day, all this internet mouse fuss, it all collapsed into one point of horror. It's not about gadgets. It's not about convenience. It's about life and death. I opened the laptop, and he started digging. Not news, not forums. I went to the websites of chemical concerns, logistics companies, and read technical reports. And there, in some boring press release, in the incidents section, I found it. A little message from 2 weeks ago. Fire at the Lindenberg Chemiwork plant, the production site of metallocene catalysts for polymerization of ethylene copolymers, has been completely destroyed. There are no casualties. I looked at those words, and my brain refused to connect. Catalysts, polymerization, Lindenberg. And then, like a punch in the gut, I saw a footnote. Lindenberg Chemiwork was the world's only supplier of LC78B catalyst, which is necessary to give EVA films increased elasticity and tensile strength. The only one in the world. At that moment, my phone exploded with notifications. All the news agencies of the world came out with a special edition. Not about the fire, about the consequences. Intel, AMD, Samsung are suspending the shipment of all products. TSMC stops pipelines. Supplies of medical equipment have been frozen. The illusion collapsed. It wasn't a glitch. That was the end of the chain. The world was not based on armies, politicians, or economies. It was supported by a thin, elastic layer of air bubbles, which was produced using powder from a single factory in the German wilderness. And it burned down. My main fear at that moment was not hunger, not war. It was a sound. The sound of silence. The silence of the stopped factories. Silence in ports where containers are not unloaded. Silence in hospital corridors where people are waiting for help from equipment that will never arrive again.
Mornings don't start with coffee anymore. It starts with a sound. A quiet, rhythmic rustling, similar to the surf. This is my neighbor, an old lady from the apartment opposite, sorting buckwheat on her balcony. It's not for eating. It's for shipping. Everything loose and light that can fill a void in a box has become a currency. Buckwheat, rice, beans. But the real treasure, the platinum of the new world, is popcorn. Unsalted, without oil, the perfect shock absorber. I have an old popcorn machine in my kitchen. I bought it for parties once, used it a couple of times, and threw it in the back drawer. This is my machine now, my connection to the world. I'm sending a package today, a small one. Inside, there is a handful of radio components and an old soldering iron. I fixed a radio receiver for a man from a nearby town. We agreed on a forum that is working intermittently because the server equipment is also out of order, and there's nothing to replace it with. The packaging process is a ritual. I put the grains in the machine. I'm turning it on. The room is filled with a warm, bready smell, the smell of hope. Previously, this smell was associated with movies and entertainment. Now, it's safe.
I listened to the grains bursting, turning into white, light clouds. Each one is like a small airbag. Then I carefully, layer by layer, put them in a box around my precious cargo. I tamper so that there are no voids. It takes about an hour. Previously, I would have clicked buy, and the next day the courier would have brought me a roll of plastic film. Now, it takes an hour of my life for one small thing to get from point A to point B whole. My fancy computer desk is covered in dust. The system unit, with the same video card which has not been replaced, stands like a tombstone. Useless trash. But I've learned how to fix bicycles. The chain, greased with grease, glitters in the sun like a jewel. A bicycle is a real high-tech. The main sound of the new world is not the hum of cars. These are the creaking of unlubricated wheels, the rustle of tires on asphalt, and the voices of people. We started talking to each other again, not to the screens. The main smell is this one, the smell of warm corn, and also a light smoke from homemade stoves that people put in their yards. We live in the shadow of a former civilization. Parking lots are filled with dead cars. Electronics store windows are sarcophagi with unfulfilled dreams. Sometimes I pick up a smartphone. The battery died long ago. A smooth, cool rectangle. My whole life was in it. Work, friends, information. All this turned out to be recorded on fragile silicon crystals that cannot be transported from one end of the world to another. I look at my hands. They are covered in calluses from a screwdriver, in small scratches from cardboard. Previously, they only touched the keyboard and glass. A strange thought. We built a global digital empire floating in the clouds, but for it to work, we needed stupid, bursting plastic. We wrapped all our progress in bubble wrap and didn't even think what would happen if it stopped bursting.